Hi, good afternoon. It's Friday, and that's Encouragement and Motivation Friday. So the next book that I'd like to share with you and encourage you to read and bring into your world is Living the Limitless Life, Walking in the Realm of Possibility. This is by Chalessa Jones Redding. And Chalessa's a minister, a writer, an attorney, and a business owner. You got to get the book, okay? And you can get this on Amazon. You can get it as an e-download type of thing on the Kindle or kind of electronic devices, and you can also get it printed and shipped to your door. So you got to get the book, or follow along here with me. But it's such a good read for you that I think it'd be a really good idea for you to pick this book up. And if you don't, like I said, you can go ahead and follow along with me this week. What I love, obviously, from the get-go about this book is that it talks about living a limitless life. And a lot of the areas that we discussed over the last 7 weeks kind of dealt in that same area of, really looking to how you can maximize your time here on earth. And so the next thing that I really like about this book is that it is a really easy read, and the information inside of it is so practical, and it's also faith and scripture based. And when I talk about being practical and such an easy read, in my time I've read so many books for self-improvement, and a lot of times they are just so heavy with information, and it makes it challenging to feel like we can take some of the tips and some of the information and put it into a practical application in our life. But this is an easy read in terms of that you can get through this. It's not heavy. You could make a goal to read it at the pace that I'm going to go through you with it. It's 10 chapters long, and so my plan is to go through 2 chapters a week with you over the next 5 weeks. And about midway through, the author Chalessa Jones Redding, she actually lives here in the northwest area of the valley, and so we're gonna actually get a chance to sit down with her and chat with her a little bit about the book and get some awesome words from her. But until then, we're going to make a trek through the book. And like this week, like I said, we're going to talk about the first 2 chapters of the book. Okay, another neat thing about the book is once we get into chapters 3 through 10, at the end of each section, there's a little page, and it's called Prepare to Jump. And it's got some little guided tasks, some tips, some things to get you writing. And I think that's really cool, because a lot of times when we read through a book, we just jump right into the next chapter, and it's good sometimes to take a pause and relate ourselves to the information that we've just got and make some notes. So for the first 2 chapters, I would really encourage you to maybe grab your journal or just a notepad and kind of make some journaling notes to yourself about the first 2 areas of the book. So the first chapter of the book is Are You Hiding? And just the title alone of that chapter could probably bring about a gasp in some of us. And I know personally for me, I really relate to that, because I can easily and honestly tell you that I've spent a lot of my life very compartmentalized, and that was my way of hiding. I kept all the different parts of my life in different drawers, if you will, in my head and in my heart, so that they never overlapped and they didn't connect in any way. And it always kept me being a very, very private person too. So I may have called it private, but essentially it probably was me hiding. And you know, some of the choices that I made for myself are like right in the very start of my early 20s, caused me a lot of pain, and that was kind of a big entry into me being a person that does spend time in hiding. And the way I, you know, kind of got myself through those early times of learning how to hide was kind of not building walls up around myself. I kind of liken it a little bit more to kind of paper macheing myself back together. My heart, my mind, and my soul, I just kind of paper macheed back together to be able to kind of go through life. And I mention that because going into chapter 2 is discovery. And so that first block there in chapter 1, I would really encourage you, as I mentioned before with your journal, I think maybe it would be helpful for you to think about how that relates to you. Can you look at times in your life, or even times now in your life, that you are hiding, maybe hiding from the world, from your friends, from maybe even your partner, your husband, your wife, and what that kind of means to you, hiding right now. And then going into chapter 2, like I said, is the discovery chapter. And to kind of go back to what I was saying about paper macheing myself together, I paper macheed, a lot of us build walls up around ourselves. And so in the discovery phase of things for ourselves, it's a time to kind of work on getting some of those walls down, or in my case, getting the paper mache kind of ripped away from myself, because even though I had put myself back together in a way that I was able to function, I really couldn't start getting on a real path of healing for myself until I got real discovery of who I am and where I'm at and what the whole thing is about for me. Because that's what we do, you know, when we get to just kind of coping and dealing with stuff that we've had to deal with in our life, then we just kind of band-aid it up. You know, we scotch tape it, and whatever you want to call it, we do whatever we can to get us over to the next thing in life. And so at some point we've got to allow ourselves to have that discovery with ourselves, and sometimes, unfortunately, it's not a choice that we make. I know there's a lot of people out there that have come to their discovery point with themselves just because they finally cracked. You know, the stress or the pain of the trauma, the different things that had went on in their lives just eventually ate them up. If you've encountered different types of things in your life and it's taking you to a place of hiding, then you've got to eventually stop one day and go and do some discovery with yourself. So that's what I would definitely say for the end of chapter 2. Grab your journal again, or grab a notebook and kind of think about a place of who you were before and the time that you were before you boarded the walls up or paper macheed yourself in like I did. And to be honest with you, I I didn't really know where that place was for me until about a week ago. Over the last couple weeks, like, I've had like all these songs stuck in my head and I just can't get them out. And it finally dawned on me that these songs that I was loving and the way that they were making me feel had a lot to do with how happy I was. And then when I went a little bit deeper, I was able to connect with that those were the feelings that I had when I was like 10 years old. And like back around 9-10 years old is the time in my life that I really resonated with being just the happiest of all time. And for some different things that went on in my life, like us moving and just going into being a teenager, I really shifted away from that joyful person and that joyful place that I was in. And so a part of my recent discovery is reconnecting back up with that part of myself that used to have so much joy and light that I was born with. So that's given me great pause to look and be so excited about having come full circle with myself. But I recognize that not all of us are there yet, that we're still kind of in that recognizing that we're hiding. And a lot of times we're also hiding from ourselves. And also that we need to, as a part of coming out of hiding, even just with ourselves, is going into kind of that discovery phase about ourselves and coming clean with yourself about where you're at and what has happened to you, what has been allowed to happen to you, either by you, the system, life, your family, etc. And honoring yourself a little bit in that space, you know. And you're gonna find as we go through the next sections of the book that, again, we are drawing from personal glimpses that are raw and very authentic by the author, Miss Reddy. And it's gonna resonate with a lot of you, and it's gonna maybe bring you to a place of feeling raw and delicate. And if you're not ready to go there, then maybe put the book down for a little bit. But I think the reason why I really want to encourage you to go there is because it's time. It's time to start living a limitless life and reaping the rewards and the riches and all the glory that there is in store for you. So if you find yourself right now in a place going into 2019 where you're ready to shirk off the costume, the charade, the whatever you're hiding under, if you're ready to finally start looking at how you can get to your full potential and how you can really get in touch with your dreams, you know, then this is a thing for you to look into. I think this book, like I said, it's not a heavy read. It's practical, it's relatable, and especially if you're a person of faith, it's going to give you really concrete roadmaps into scripture that's going to help you work through all 10 chapters of this book and be ready to launch off into living a limitless life. And that's what I want for each and every one of you, is to have the very best experience for the rest of your days here on this planet. And I want to be a part of that. And so that's why I'm here on Fridays, to encourage and motivate you. So again, I hope that you go over to Amazon and pick up Living the Limitless Life by Miss Chalessa Jones Redding. And you can get that as a download, or you can buy the book, get it to your door. You'll have it before next Friday. So you've got plenty of time to read chapters 1 and 2, glimpse at 3, and then next week we'll be talking about 3 and 4. And maybe I'll share with you some of my the answers to my prepare to jump at the end of the chapters 3 and 4. But until then, I hope you have the best day ever, and thanks so much for checking in with us.